Hey guys, it's Phone Arena, and today we're doing a side-by-side comparison of the Apple iPhone 3GS and the newer model, the Apple iPhone 4. We're sure that there's probably plenty of people out there still sporting the older handset, the iPhone 3GS. They're curious to see what the iPhone 4 has under the hood, and also any advantages it might have to make it a clear decision to upgrade to a newer model. So just sit back, just watch this comparison, and you'll see at the end whether or not it might be a worthy decision for you to jump to the new iPhone 4. So if you haven't watched our iPhone 4 video review, you might as well check it out just to get an in-depth look at some of the features and also hardware that accompanies the iPhone 4. But from a quick glance, as you can see, both handsets look quite similar. There's very little to distinguish them differently. First of all, you can notice that they're both clearly iPhone models just because of the hardware button in the middle. But when you take a closer look at the iPhone 4, that's when you definitely notice the difference. First of all, they utilize this brushed stainless steel band around the handset, which is used for the antenna. On the iPhone 3GS, though, they use the chrome bezel that outlines the sides of the iPhone 3GS. And of course, they also utilize this black glossy plastic for the rear, which does tend to scratch sometimes and also attracts fingerprints. On the iPhone 4, though, they utilize this glass-like material on the back and also on the front, which has an olefophobic coating to make it look pristine every time you take it out of your pockets. Also, the feel, the quality, the premium feel, the materials that they use for the iPhone 4 is a lot better than the iPhone 3GS. There's also a noticeable weight with the iPhone 4, which makes it feel a little bit more complete and well balanced. And as you can see, the iPhone 4 is also a little bit longer, but it's also skinnier and a lot thinner than the iPhone 3GS. It comes at 0.37 inches, so making it a pretty sleek handset. But again, as we said, there isn't too much as far as a groundbreaking redesign with the iPhone 4. It has a somewhat nostalgic look to it, but again, at its core, it's definitely an iPhone. So what makes the iPhone 4 superior to the iPhone 3GS has to be its Retina display. Both handsets still utilize the same 3.5-inch display found on the original iPhone. But in the iPhone 3GS, it has a resolution of 480 by 320, where in the iPhone 4 it has a resolution of 960 by 640. So there's 4 times the amount of pixels than the iPhone 3GS. So it provides for a little bit better, clearer, and also more detailed text on screen. And as you can see, if you could kind of make it out that the text is a little bit more legible on the iPhone 4 versus the iPhone 3GS. Again, that's because it packs a lot more pixels on the screen than the iPhone 3GS. At the same time, the iPhone 4 also has better viewing angles, so in different conditions, lighting conditions, the iPhone 4 is far superior, especially in outdoor conditions. If you load up a website right here and just take a look at some of the text, you could see a little bit the differences in how the iPhone 4's Retina display is strikingly a little bit more clear than the iPhone 3GS. Both handsets are running iOS 4, which is the latest version of the platform, and to tell you the truth, as far as functionality goes, it's the same exact experience. There's nothing really too different. Granted though, the iPhone 4 does enable for some things like FaceTime, and also has a built-in gyroscope to have improved games down the road, but as far as the experience of navigating the platform, it's no different. The only things that the iPhone 4 is a little bit more smooth. As you can see, there's less lag or delay when you're scrolling. That's because of the A4 processor that's inside the phone. But launching applications is going to be the same exact time. There's no noticeable difference in speed. Same thing, you open up the camera, it loads up pretty well. And as we said, the experience is still pretty good for both handsets, especially for the iPhone 3GS, seeing that it's an older hardware. When it comes to web browsing, the experience is actually quite the same. There's nothing different at all about either handsets. The great thing about the iPhone 4, again, it has the Retina display, so it makes for a little bit more clearer text, especially when you're in a zoomed out view. But overall, the performance is just the same. Scrolling is pretty smooth on both handsets. There's no evidence of any lag. There's also multi-touch gestures to zoom in, zoom out. And again, the experience is definitely satisfying on both handsets. Both the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 3GS still utilizes CoverFlow, which is found in the original iPhone, and to tell you the truth, it's still one of the better music interfaces out there. It presents you all your albums, and it's pretty smooth, as you can see as you're scrolling through all your albums. We definitely like its presentation, but the only thing that separates it is, of course, the speaker volume. On the iPhone 4, it's marginally louder, but to tell you the truth, it wasn't too loud at all. If If you're into taking photos, you're going to be really impressed with the iPhone 4's quality versus the iPhone 3GS. This is one area where the iPhone 4 clearly separates itself. As you can see at the bottom, we have the iPhone 4, and top we have the iPhone 3GS. As far as clarity and just detail, there's a lot more detail and natural looking colors with the iPhone 4 versus the iPhone 3GS. We just like how it works really well in low lit conditions, and just overall there's a lot more clarity and better looking images with the iPhone 4 versus the iPhone 3GS. So you're really going to be impressed by the overall quality of the iPhone 4. Just like taking photos, the video capture on the iPhone 4 is truly spectacular just because it packs on 720p video recording instead of the iPhone 3GS's VGA recording with 640 by 480 resolution. Both phones shoot at 30 frames per second, so they're quite smooth looking, but the iPhone 4 definitely has a lot more detail. Unfortunately though, with the iPhone 4's quality, we did notice some of the white balance to be a little bit off, especially when you move it through different lighting conditions, but it's a little bit negligible just because of the overall quality that the iPhone 4 exudes. The call and quality experience on both handsets were pretty much close to one another, but the iPhone 4 slightly edges it out just because there's less static sound in the background than on the iPhone 3GS. On top of that, the iPhone 4 utilizes the noise cancellation microphone, which helps in our caller's end because they can distinguish our voices a lot better. At the same time, also, the speakerphone on the iPhone 4 was slightly louder as well. When it comes to battery life, the iPhone 4 clearly is a winner just because we managed to get 1.5 days use out of it, just because it also utilizes a larger battery. On the iPhone 3GS though, we managed to get only a day's use out of it. But to tell you the truth, for most people who use smartphones, the 1 day's use should be more than adequate for anyone. To tell you the truth, between the two handsets, the iPhone 3GS had better reception at any given time than the iPhone 4. We did notice sometimes that the iPhone 4 had 1 or 2 bars less than the iPhone 3GS. Again, just depending on how you hold it, it can change the overall quality, but hopefully there's going to be a fix down the road to address it. But aside from that, again, the iPhone 3GS did perform a little bit better in retaining signal strength. So that's about it, guys, as far as the comparison goes. As when it comes down to the iPhone 4, we definitely like the fact that it has a really nice nostalgic look to it in its design. At the same time, it has a lot better hardware under the hood with the A4 processor, the 5-megapixel autofocus camera on the back, a front-facing camera for video chat on the front. But the iPhone 3GS can still hold up on its own. The performance of the platform is actually the same. As you can see, as we said already, it's not really anything too different, and performance wise it runs pretty smooth, so you'll be happy still with the iPhone 3GS. If you're into media though, however, the iPhone 3GS's 3-megapixel camera was not anywhere close to what the images that the iPhone 4's 5-megapixel shooter produced. It just had a lot better stunning looking images with vibrant colors, and also videos came out strikingly a lot better on the iPhone 4 with 720p obviously. But aside from that, unless you're into media, games, or taking photos and videos, there really isn't a compelling reason to move up to the iPhone 4 just because functionality, it's going to be the same exact experience, not going to notice a difference. So with that in mind, I'm just thinking about the cost. The iPhone 3GS has been lowered, while the iPhone 4 remains now at the steady $199, $299 price point. So if you'd like to learn more about either handsets or for all the latest cell phone reviews, news, specs, and information, check us out at phonearena.com.